Greetings from the workshop, everybody. Quick update with apologies for the background noise. There's a bunch of work going on outside. So this is the R1150 2005 model, ex-police. As you know from the previous videos, we've got the front and rear lights working no problem. We're having an issue with the tone generator, so signal generator. This connection and that connection need to be hooked up in order to trigger the handlebars, which is those guys up there, those controls. I checked the box of bits that came with this bike, and obviously, as you know in the previous video, all these fuses had been yanked, but that's easy. And I thought, okay, well, if everything's working in here, and clearly it is, we've tested all the fuses, they're all good, then something else must be wrong. I looked in the bottom of the box, and lo and behold, this somewhat heart-stopping discovery has been chopped off the harness. So if that will focus, that's actually the wiring that runs down here. So normally you can see 3 clips on the inside here. Normally these 3 connectors, 1, 2, 3, sit on the inside of the box here, and you would plug into, I think it's this guy, yep, that guy right there, as you can see from the wiring color. You plug that one in right there, and that's what triggers your siren. But because somebody has chopped this out, if I actually fit this in here, we'll just snake that wiring under here. You can see, oh, maybe we've got the residual of it just there, who knows. But normally what would happen is, you can see that pinch mark right there. So normally it would sit, mount on the side of the box there on the inside, run underneath the seat mount, sort of under where this is at the moment, along here where this wire is, down the bottom, maybe you can see it, just where my finger is, and then turn left, and we've got a pinch mark here. You can see that. Well, that's from that clip right there. Now normally what you would get is the rest of the wiring, after we pinch that one in there, the rest of the wiring would run down and into the fuse box. So clearly what's happened is some naughty person has cut the wiring inside the box here, and hopefully it's tucked inside this box. But the really annoying part about all of this is I have to pull the entire back end of the bike off again. So that's the inner mudguard liner, fuse box lid, lower covers, luggage mounts, crash bar, light, radio box, base plate and mount, seat mounts, and lift the fuse box up and hope like heck that that little bit of wiring, which would be, I don't know if you can see there, see that red and white wiring just down there? Hopefully it'll be sitting right next to that, and I'll be able to just pop it out and solder it all back together. But yeah, very, very annoying. And then of course, noticed also in the box that we had the 2 missing power connectors, these guys. So we've got a blue, red and brown, that's constant 12 watt power from the police battery. And we've got a yellow, red and brown, which is also constant 12 watt power from the police battery. Adding to the mystery, I don't know why this is the case, as you would have also seen in the previous video, the connector for the horns, the civilian horns, was cut, and these are the connectors. These 2 are the connectors that plug in. They're a special BMW specific part that plugs into the back of the civilian horns. Now why they've been cut I don't know, because you would need them you know, if you're going to register it to be on the road. Anyway, so there you go, we've got a running bike, we've got lights, that's all good. We know that all the cabling on here is good, so all the stuff that we've added for lights, sirens, everything else, that all works. Second battery is in the correct mount, well, one of the correct mounts is in. There's actually a pair of them that sit left and right on there, so the cables mount flat like that. So we've got all of that. It's just for some reason they've cut that piece of wire that would mount 1, 2, 3 there and run down and under the fuse box. So there you go, a little bit of a frustration. It's probably going to add 2 days to the build, but at least we've discovered it now, rather than shipping it and then going, hey, why don't those sirens go Ninor? So there you go. Anyway, strange world that we occupy. The one good upshot from yesterday, as you may remember, is that this light is actually a composite of about 4 or 5 different lights. So we've got actually an almost brand new rear pole light there. Correct wiring and grommet for the R1150. So very lucky to have all of this stuff in stock. There's one of the candidates that donated some bits, and you don't solder anything. All the innards are the same. You know, it's very, very straightforward. So very lucky to have found this. Everything works. It's been tested. So all the lights, that controller, these 2 controllers are good. All the power is good. All the wiring to the sirens, that's all good. And unfortunately, a little bit more work to go before we get this one back on the road. Catch you in the next video, everybody. Cheers.